natural ventilation of the building. And there is a children area on the main floor. I really don't understand your detailed program, but if that children area is active, maybe it could be relocated towards the open space so the children can benefit the open space.
You mean the room inside?
That's right, yes. And I would like to finish my comment by really commending both the architect and the planning department. It's so nice to see a social building for women that doesn't look like a social building. It looks like, it even looks a lot nicer than a market residential building. And this is very positive, and it's a reflection of our social values. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With respect to the overall building design and character, I find this to be a very livable building. The nuances are carried through. We've seen it on some previous projects. The light at the end of the corridors. A lot of things to do with livability, I think, that are very just subtly, they're just integrated and apparently effortless, but I'm pleased to see that's been done, including with the cross-access. So that's very nice. It's good to see these family units and larger units in this neighborhood, which I think will probably be much needed. And the use of the protected garden is very nice. The resolution and distinction of the various massing and elevation components, for quite a lot of comment about. I find it to be a simple building, but it's broken down in grain, and there have been some different comments about whether that may be enhanced or reduced or done differently. But overall, I find the building, I should say, sits there quite discreetly as really a background building. Apart from the scale of it, it's quite a discrete kind of building. The Powell Street massing and the 75-foot street wall character, I think, consistent with some of the comments from the rest of the panel, the roof shift does help that transition. But I agree with Anna's comment, the color match or shade match between the wall and the roof, I think makes it a little ambiguous and maybe reduces the impression that there is kind of a change of scale there. It's a little ambiguous because it's a fairly subtle mansard, but I like the idea of the mansard, that a subtle shift in hue perhaps rather than color would enhance that. It'll take the light differently, so maybe we'll see some of that anyway. The facade articulation, I like the overall use of materials. The play of the colored panels to the brick building is such a subtle difference in color, perhaps, between the metal and the brick that I find it's not as strong. It appears it will be on a different plane, I believe, as well, so the light will hit it differently. I wondered if that might be enhanced slightly so you get a little bit more of the zigzag. It's a little bit less masculine that way, maybe. Or perhaps change to that material to wood. And when I say wood, perhaps it's quotation marks, like a Prodema panel or something like that. I have no idea if that would be in your budget, but it would soften it perhaps a little bit as well, because it is fairly masculine and stolid as it is. As you go around to Princess Avenue, I think because the shifting of the elevation is halted on the south wing, you kind of almost get three buildings, and I wonder if that's necessary on the south wing, or it can simply continue the game that we've got going on the north component, because that is nice and it's more delicate. The public realm, I really like the paving quilt, the tapestry, and the use of the courtyard as protected courtyard for play and for hanging out is very nice, and there's lots of daylight into it, which is very nice also. Sustainability attributes, I concur with the comments about the horizontal sunshades on the west side. I think there won't be as much utility to alter that strategy, or perhaps delete them since they add shading. I think that's the extent of my comments, Mr. Chair.
Very much, Greg. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, like as previously said, I too think it's a really interesting development. I don't have too much to say that's significant has been said, but few comments. I think it's really interesting that it's oriented to a female scenario, but that the building, the way it was come together, has two quite different personalities in it that seemingly. And I think it would be really interesting to play with that even more. I'm not sure how. Perhaps in Jim's comments of a mix between the two halves in some kind of interesting relationship might be really interesting. In terms of the Powell Street massing in the future 75-foot high wall, Powell Street, my only concern there is that Powell Street, and this is more of a general thing, is Powell Street's a very significant conduit into the city, and I would hate to see that becoming a sort of a tunnel with kind of two continuous facades just driving into the city. In terms of the public realm, I think it's terrific that the client is taking initiatives as well in the public realm and integrating some cultural work into the mix. And I think that's my comments.
Okay, well, I think I'll try to summarize a bit here. I think generally the panel is very supportive of the project. Some of the, I guess, consensus items, the public realm landscape, I think generally was well received and supported. I think most people like the architectural feature of the mansard roof, with some good comments of perhaps making that stronger, whether through color, texture change, or other subtle needs. A lot of the panel was not convinced about the solar shading on the west side, so some design development there, whether it's vertical pins or some other way to maybe address the other suggestion that the building could be more domestic or playful or something else. So I think those were the main kind of consensus items. I think a lot of very good suggestions, very minor suggestions. The one about whether the building should be expressed as two rooms, doesn't work out. I think the issue of perhaps looking at some ways of having more of a dialogue between the two homes will make the project more efficient. I think there was some few comments about either a little bit of an institutional or a seriousness to the building, perhaps some of the playful items, as others have suggested, like the balcony panels, the loose kind of playful fenestration pattern on the brick building that kind of suddenly ends and doesn't play out any other facade. So some of those ideas as you design develop, I think, would just make the project softer as some is it. Design development to the slots, which were recognized as a very positive thing, and an area in the project that can a lot of design exploration to be taken. And with regards to the brick building, the fact you've taken the punch window as a strategy to just really pay close attention to the design development of the sills, the depth, all aspects of that punch is expressed and treated. So I think those are the general suggestions. There will be more obviously in the minutes, but it's very positive and well-handled project. Any comments from the team?
No, we thank the panel for the comments. I think that most of these items that have been discussed have been hot topics of conversation in the office for quite a long time. And, some have been incorporated, some have been rejected. We did incorporate the solar screening on the west side at the request of the last panel, and we could definitely take it off at the request of this panel. It'll help in the budget. But when we did our solar analysis, those particular ones came out the best in terms of the vertical things. We did absolutely nothing on the west side. So we'll take that back and take the comments back and continue working. Thank that panel.
Okay, all those in favor? All those against? Do you have support?
I know, I tried to catch it just as you did it.